What did I say from day one of the NBA Finals?
What did you say?
I made a prediction on how the series is going to end.
I made a prediction too.
Yeah, but you were wrong.
I was wrong.
Welcome back to the Ring Chaser podcast. We're here with episode 13, talking about Game 6 of the NBA Finals. And man, oh man, the Warriors win in 6, just as I predicted.
You did predict it. You predicted it, 2 weeks ago now? Coming up on 2 weeks, something like
Pretty
that.
close. 103 to
Congratulations.
90.
Congratulations on that prediction.
Thank you.
Give you a little golf clap.
So the Dubs, I guess we should go over some of the more basic stuff first. So
yeah, what's going on, everyone? We got a little ahead of ourselves.
All right, so I'm your host Alex with my co-host Jacob. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm a little tired, a little sore Monday morning, you know.
Fair enough.
You know how it
fair
is.
enough.
How you doing today?
But you couldn't guess, but I'm doing well.
Really? I wouldn't have guessed based on how you started it. So yeah, the Warriors winning 6 against the Celtics. We're gonna give you all the details. We'll give you some final takes about the series as a whole.
Let's get into it.
That's kind of what we got today.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So the Warriors, they win 103 to 90 in Boston in the Garden. Take it home in 6, as we've said multiple times already. But it's true. It happened. So but the game started off looking a little different. Boston started off on a 14-2 run. They were setting the tone of this game. They were dominating.
They did exactly as I predicted they would, except they didn't stomp on their throat. They punched them in the mouth, and then they just let them recover,
and they let them break both their arms and legs.
And then they let them go on a 21-0 run.
The biggest run in the last 50 years of the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
And that 21-0 run stretched into a 35-8 run.
Jesus.
And man.
Yeah, that can't be done at home in the NBA Finals.
Well, it can and it was.
In a closeout game.
Well, it can be done and it was done.
Yeah, it was done, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Should not be.
I mean, Boston, they did try to make a run in the third quarter. They got it. They closed the quarter on a 14-2 run. They actually they did well in the third quarter again.
Yeah, it's a surprise. I mean, they went within 10 in the third quarter. They got within 8 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but nah.
They just couldn't get any closer.
I mean, just like Game 5, Boston, they did win the third, as we said, but man, Golden State, they've just been better in the fourth and the second half of the series.
Which has actually been surprising with how everything has gone for them before Game 5, I guess.
Yeah.
The Warriors are always known for their third quarters. You're always like, watch out for them in the third quarter. And Boston's been able to close out games in their good fourth quarters. So it was actually really surprising to see that happen. But Golden State just kind of won the whole game, basically, except for the third quarter.
And then after Game 4, everyone's like, oh, Boston hasn't lost 2 in a row. Well, they just lost 3 in a row. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Caniel.
Okay. We both made predictions, all right? You can't hate on me for making a prediction. But
well,
yeah, I was surprised.
You hated on me for one of my predictions earlier in this series.
What?
By saying Golden State wouldn't lose at home.
Oh, yeah. That was funny, though.
So was this.
Yeah, but I'm surprised. Boston, they lost back-to-back games, and you think, okay, this is a team that has been able to bounce back off of one loss. Imagine what they can do after 2 losses. That's what I was thinking. But they just clearly didn't have it. They jumped out of the gate early, and they got up to a big lead, and they just kind of got complacent. And they allowed Golden State, which is a much more experienced team, to just jump all over it.
Yeah. And, man, Golden State's one of those teams. When they get on this run, they're not going to slow down.
No.
Like their guys were in until the end of the game. Part of that was just wanting the four of Iggy, Curry, Clay, Draymond to be in, but they had everyone in until the end of the game, and they were taking shots the rest of the whole game. Down to the buzzer. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Boston put players out there for garbage minutes, but Golden State, they've done the dance before. Unlike this Boston team, they didn't know what it was like, and they just kind of got shown what it's like this year. I mean, both teams actually were shooting pretty similar from the field and from 3, but the Warriors did take 12 more shots and made way more threes and took way more threes than the Celtics, which obviously you make more shots, you're going to win the game. Well,
hey,
for the most
hey,
of the time.
great math.
Thanks.
For audio listeners, we just stepped up.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have any other kind of.
Hey, keep going, keep going. No distractions.
Boston had 23 turnovers to Golden State 17, and falls to 1-8 in the postseason when having 16 or more turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, turnovers has been a problem for them. We talked about it going into the finals. They're going to have to limit them. And you just see from that stat that they've had a lot of high turnover games.
Oh, yeah.
And
I mean,
none of them have gone well for them.
The amount of high turnover games that Tatum's had. I mean, we'll talk more about Tatum's turnovers later on, but
just in general with the Celtics, they really struggled with turnovers these playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, Draymond had a really good game. He had 12, 12, and 8 with 2 steals, 2 blocks. I mean, he had 5 turnovers, but he had a really good overall game.
Yeah.
He shot a decent percentage, and, I mean, you could live with the 5 turnovers when he's playing.
When he's playing like that.
When he's playing like this, and he's playing like him and Curry are alternating the point guard role pretty much. And
Mr. Triple Single.
he had a double-double.
He had a double-double. But he was too lazy to get 2 more
He had a double-double and a triple-single.
He was too lazy to get 2 more assists for triple-double.
But look, he had that double-double. He had 12 and 12, and then he had 8-2-2. He had a double-double and a triple-single.
No way. That's crazy.
Yeah. Remember when he had that triple-double that wasn't including points that one time a couple years ago?
Yeah, that was a couple years ago, though.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. Keep going.
All right, Wiggins had a pretty good game as well. He had 18 points on with 6 rebounds, 5 assists, with 4 steals, 3 blocks.
Continuing to use that incredible D that he has on him and playing great defense. Locking up Jason Tatum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Wiggins was great this
Yeah,
series.
he's had an
all
amazing series.
long.
We'll talk a little more about that later, though. Well, we are.
We will. We'll talk about that.
We got some final
later.
takes coming, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Klay started off the first half pretty good. He was shooting
He fell off.
shooting like 50% with like 10 points going into halftime. He finished the game with 12 points on 5 of 20.
25%.
Yeah. No Game 6 Klay today.
No Game 6 Klay today.
Luckily, someone else had a pretty good Game 6 that will.
I mean, he just plays good basketball.
Yeah, this guy, this Wardell fella.
Wardell. What a name. He's his
Yeah,
government
Wardell.
name.
Stephen Curry. Another master class game. Bro had 34 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He shot over 50% from the field and from 3. This meant
He was going off.
He wanted this ring.
I mean, did you see his celly after one of his threes?
Put a 4th one on there.
He's like, give me that ring.
Give me that ring.
Give me that ring.
The sleep.
The sleep.
You put him to sleep?
Bro hit some turnaround. Like, bro pulled up from, like, you know, the side logos on the court?
Yeah.
He just pulled up from there and turned around.
I know, bro's different.
Man's just built different.
I mean, off the bench, he had Poole, and he played really well. He had 15 points. And Gary Payton, he only had 6 points, but
He's been playing great
he had
defense.
3 steals and a block. He played really good defense in this game. Looney also had 7 boards, and 6 of them were on the offensive side, which I think really helped in this game.
Yeah, Looney's rebounding is so big for the Warriors. Like, he's
Yeah.
such a good rebounder, and he's only like 6'11",
I think he's like 6'10".
6'10", 6'11", same thing.
He's like 6'9", 6'10".
6'10", 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", same thing. But his rebounding has been so good, and like his ability to be out there every night.
Yeah.
Bro played every game this season.
Yeah, we touched on that last episode.
We did, but I touched on it again because he played another game.
I've actually heard that a lot of teams around the league are interested in Gary Payton and Looney, which, like, fair enough. Like, I think those are 2 guys that the Warriors should bring back.
I don't see the Warriors getting rid of him.
I mean, depends on contract, what they want.
It's true, but
'Cause you gotta be able to bring Poole back for what he wants and hopefully not overpaid.
and Wiggins too.
Wiggins isn't a free agent yet.
What?
I don't think Wiggins is a free agent yet.
No, I know, but like
You need to
eventually.
for him for the next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now on to Boston. Jason Tatum.
Not him.
Bro got locked up again. He finished with 13 points only with 7 assists, 3 steals, and a block. He had 5 turnovers on 6 of 18 shooting. Man, like, he had such a good playoff, and the way way he's been ended, it's gonna cast a shadow over how great his playoff was.
Oh, I mean, I'm already seeing all the Jason Tatum slander
Oh yeah,
on Instagram, TikTok. It's everywhere.
them Kobe memes are
And Kobe
hilarious.
memes. And then the ones with his jersey, they just put not him instead of Tatum. Oh my god. Or
Yeah.
like pictures of Deuce. My dad sucks at basketball.
Oh my god.
It's so funny. It's so funny, but
I don't
like,
think he deserves all that
it's
as much hate as he's
just
getting.
so much hate for an amazing postseason that he. Hello, my mic's going out. Oh, we're back. Okay. It's just such an amazing. He had such an amazing postseason,
Yeah.
and then for him to just fall off in these finals, it's people are not gonna think about what he did through the other rounds to get to where they
Yeah.
were, and they're just gonna think about his finals performance, which was really bad. I guess not really bad, but it was bad for how people expected him to
Yeah.
show up. And you know, you look at his turnovers. Turnovers are really bad. We'll have a stat. I think we have a stat on that later.
We do.
And yeah, he just really struggled. Why does my mic keep cutting out?
The cord might
But
be
he really struggled these playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he really struggled. The rest of the team, most of them played pretty well. Al Horford, he had a solid game, but he had a really amazing third quarter. He finished with 19 points and 14 boards with 3 steals and a block. And I mean, like, he's been really good this year for them in the playoffs. Like, I think everyone thought he was kind of done. I think we talked about this a little bit already in the previous.
Yeah, we talked
episodes,
about it in one of our awards.
But man, it's nice to see some of these guys have that everyone thought was done have a little bit of comeback.
Yeah. Yeah, it was it was great for. Why'd you give me that look?
What do you mean? You're the one giving me a look.
I'm not giving you no look. Yeah, it was great to see him kind of show out a little bit these playoffs.
Yeah.
I know they didn't get the win that they wanted, but he looked really good these finals. He had some on and off games, as you expect with like a 37-year-old,
Yeah.
but he still played higher than expectations, I feel like.
Yeah. Another guy that played pretty well for them is Robert Williams. He had 10 points with 7 boards, and 5 of them were offensive. But the big thing is he had 5 blocks.
He's such a good shot blocker.
He's been so good in these playoffs.
And
shot blocking.
now that he's feeling healthier,
Yeah.
he's able to really go get those blocks.
Hopefully
and-
next year give a full healthy year and then lose to the Bucks.
Just had to sneak that one in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart, he had 9 points and he had 6 and 9 on tough shooting. And why are you giving me that look?
Nothing. It's just the way you said it.
He also had 2 steals. I mean, this is more kind of what you expect from Marcus Smart in the regular season, but in the playoffs he's been way up and everything.
Yeah, he stepped up a lot, especially with his scoring in these playoffs. But
And this game he didn't play horribly. He dropped back down, but he did
didn't
shoot the ball
very
pretty
well.
bad.
He
but
shot the ball really poorly.
I mean, the biggest bright spot for Boston this game was Jaylen Brown. He had a pretty incredible game. He had 34 points and 7 boards, steal, and shot just under 50% from the field and from 3, but also had 5 turnovers,
Which has been a reoccurring fact with these Celtics,
oh, for sure.
especially in the finals against a top defense in the league as the Warriors, who force a lot of live ball turnovers. I
Yeah.
guess that it really showed with Boston's offense really having a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, I think another huge thing that went to Golden State taking this game was Celtics' bench combined for 5 points on 2 of 11. They shot 0 for 6 with Ruth and had 4 turnovers. When you look at Golden State's bench, just Gary Payton himself had 6 points, more
Yeah.
than the whole bench. And then they also had Jordan Poole, who had
Jordan Poole had
15.
15 in less minutes than Gary Payton.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, their bench. There's not a lot of names on that bench, but guys like Derek White, Grant Williams, you expect them to Peyton Pritchard, expect them to be able to put up 6 or 7 points, 10 points for some of them to combine for like 20 points off the bench, something like that. But you see them only getting 6 or 5 points.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Yeah.
Eesh.
It's tough. I mean, this win it gives Golden State their 4th ring in the last 8 years. We'll have a little bit of conversation about whether we think this is where this ranks with dynasties.
I think this is their best championship out of Golden State's 4.
I think it's maybe their most impressive, but it's not their best team.
No, not their
No.
best team, but like their most
The most
deserved. I'd say. or
I mean,
I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but like, it's worth the most.
most
to them.
important,
It's
maybe?
it's worth the most to the Warriors
maybe,
players. Because you come back from 2 years ago
yeah.
where you're where you're the worst team in the league. You have 15 wins,
Yeah.
and then, I mean, you're
And you
hurt from
miss out on the
injuries.
playing game last
Hurt
year.
hurt from injuries.
Lose to Memphis and beat them in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I mean, even back 2 years or 3 years ago, like, you have 15 wins. Everybody's injured. Everybody's saying, "Oh, the Warriors, they're done. They're done."
Trade for
Too
Wiggins. People
injury
are saying
prone.
Steph Curry. By some people, I mean Nick Wright. Steph Curry will never be in the NBA Finals. Andrew Wiggins is a bad basketball player. Yeah,
And no
you're
disrespect.
wrong.
But for them to be back in the finals after doing that, and then last
Yeah.
year, they double their winning percentage. They make the play-in games. They lose in there, and everybody's like, "Oh, they're not going to get any further than that."
I love
And
hearing
they-
the players talk about the criticism. Like, I think this is a huge one for Clay for sure. But I was hearing after the game, Clay and Curry were on stage, and Clay was just yelling, "Hey Steph, all we do is shoot threes and win championships."
Yeah, I still love Steph Curry in his post-game press conference last year after losing, and he's like, "Don't want to see us next year."
Facts.
And man, they showed out this year, winning.
And
their
Draymond Green,
fourth
don't let us win an
championship.
effing championship.
Yeah, I mean,
You let him win a championship.
First
and
thing
he's been
here on
letting
the
you hear.
first thing here on the final takes. Steph Curry gets his first Finals MVP of his career. Well deserved. Goes off. I'll give you a couple claps for that. I mean, he goes off this series, 31.2 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. I mean, he shot 48% and 42%. He just went off the one bad game.
Aside from that one game, he was incredible. This is one of the best series we've ever seen from Steph.
He just went off, and he looked better than ever this year.
And I'd
playoffs.
argue that he had the game of the playoffs. His 43-point game in Game 4.
That's fair.
I'd say
Just
that's
because
the
of the
game
stage.
of the playoff. They were down 2-1,
Yeah, you don't
In
want to go
Boston.
down 3-1.
and he put up that 43-point game.
I mean-
Incredible shooting.
Yeah, I mean, if the Heat come and win that, if the Heat win that series against the Celtics, I'd say Jimmy Butler's 47-point performance.
Even that's not the situation. It's not the same.
It was an elimination game.
Yeah, I know, but it's the NBA Finals.
No, I know. I'm saying, like, if the Heat won that Game 7 to come
Yeah.
to the finals, I would put more weight on Jimmy Butler's 47-point game against
But
six.
I wouldn't put that over Curry's.
No, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that. I'm just saying I'd say it'd be a tighter race, but
Maybe, yeah.
Steph still
He has it.
his game, what was it, Game 3, unbelievable.
Game 4.
And Game 4?
Yeah, because they would be down 3-1 if they
Yeah,
lost.
that's math. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Boston for this series, they really struggled with their turnovers, playing against the top defense in the league. As we said, I mean, Golden State looked way more experienced out there.
Oh, for sure.
I
They are more experienced. I remember seeing the stat going into this finals. They took all the players combined on each team's. Warriors had like a ton of finals appearances, and Boston didn't have one.
Yeah. It's like, that just reminded me of the the Lakers stat before the season, how many combined All-Stars they have.
The Lakers and the Nets. That's my finals matchup.
I mean, like, they just look so much more experienced. They're able to bounce back off of runs. I mean, and losses than the Celtics. You saw that with Boston losing 3 in a row to end the series.
Yeah.
And they just looked better out there. Tatum, like we said, he really struggled this series, especially with turnovers. I mean, 21.5 points per game, just under 7 rebounds, 7 assists. But he shot 36% and 42% from 3.
He became the first player ever to have 100 turnovers in a playoff.
And he averaged 3.8 turnovers per game.
Tough. I mean, Jaylen Brown, he had a really solid series. He had 24.
This is actually down from last series.
Yeah, he had a couple rough games. He also was probably the best player. I would say he's the best player for the team.
Oh, yeah, out there this series he was, yeah.
He averaged 24 and 7 on decent shooting. Not amazing, but not bad. I mean, Smart had 2 tough games, but he finished the series averaging 15-5 with a steal and a half a game.
Which is what you want from Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's up from the season. That's kind of where he's been all playoffs.
Yeah.
Which is it's just perfect for him. It was just Jason Tatum really hurt them. Grant Williams took a big step back, only 4.2 points per game, and he only averaged 3 shots a game.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, he just was not aggressive out there. Tatum was taking a lot of shots and missing a lot of them. But
the bigs played well for Boston this series. Horford and Robert Williams. Horford averaged 12.5 with 8.5 boards on.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
You look like your eyes are watering a bit.
Oh, no,
there.
I'm good. I have an itch on my eye.
Okay.
I actually have an itch on my eye.
Okay. And then Robert Williams, he only averaged 7.5 points per game, but he also averaged 7.5 rebounds a game and 2.8 blocks a game.
Yeah.
These finals, he was blocking shots left, right, and center, sending them out to Madagascar.
Yep. I mean, what I'll say about Boston is, I will say what Draymond Green said. This is a talented group of young players.
Oh, amazing season they had.
You have to give all the credit to Ime Udoka.
Ime Udoka?
Yes, that's the one.
Ime Okidoki?
Okay, Charles Barkley. But he came in here and did an amazing job as a coach. And as Draymond Green said, I could see this team being a team that wins a championship in the next few years. Of course, he said, of course, after we're done, which I have to agree with.
Yeah. But yeah, they had a great season, especially coming from where they were.
They were one of the worst teams in the league.
One of the worst teams in the league. They changed their culture. They became a defensive-minded team.
Oh, yeah.
And they were the best team in the NBA.
Udoka, he forced Tatum to play defense.
Yeah, and he became
a
top defending small forward in the league.
Yeah.
And they had a great season. I fully expect them to be back next year. But on to the champs, on to the winners.
We've already went over
stats.
But, man, he's the only player in NBA history to average 30-plus in the finals with less than 5 free throws a game.
That's a specific stat.
Well, I mean, it's actually a pretty impressive stat.
It's actually interesting because he didn't get to the line really.
He didn't get all the foul calls. He was just getting his shots.
Just hitting shots left, right, and center.
Shooters got to shoot. He was shooting that thing.
He was shooting that thing out there, man.
I mean, Clay had some ups and downs this series. He averaged 17 on 37 from the field, 34 from 3. I mean, it's been a tough year for him. Mm-hmm. But you'd be expected that.
Yeah, I mean, first season
2 years back.
2 years. He's not going to be the same Clay that we saw before.
There's a chance he never is that.
No, but he provided out there.
Oh, for sure.
He didn't shoot great, but still 17 points per game.
Yeah, that's huge.
As your number 3 option, I'd say.
Yeah.
For the Warriors, that's great.
I mean, he was a 2 option, but this next guy, I think he elevated to that 2 option.
That's why I say that.
Andrew Wiggins.
Wiggins of Andrew.
He's had an amazing series and an amazing playoff, but in this series, he averaged 18.5 points, almost 9 rebounds, a block and a half, and a steal and a half. Why are you lowering your chair like that?
I didn't know it would lower.
And he played pretty elite defense on Tatum and the Celtics.
Yeah.
He led both teams in rebounds and shot contested. He was second in the series in blocks and in fourth quarter scoring.
Well, I mean, like I said, he was just using that great D, just locking up Tatum all series, not letting him get his shots off. And he was unbelievable defensively. I mean, it's similar points per game, but it felt more impactful, his points. It felt like he was scoring more important buckets throughout the season.
Yeah, he's and then amazing.
And then his rebounds,
series.
And then the rebounds per game, he was amazing rebounding, blocks, the steals. He looked really good out there.
To be honest, the big difference I see with Wiggins in the series is he was using his athleticism more than we've seen from him in a long time.
And he looked like he was fitting into that role on the Warriors the better than he had all season.
Yeah.
Looks like he's starting to find what he is on this team and how he's gonna be an impactful player in the NBA.
Yeah.
And he looked really good.
Another guy that played really well is Jordan Poole. He averaged almost 13.5 points per game off the bench, and he actually shot pretty well from the field in the series. And I mean, he's a guy. I don't think he deserves the max that everyone's saying he might get, but I could see him getting a solid bag as he was saying to Wiggins. He's like, we
We're gonna get that bag.
I mean, Draymond and GP, they didn't score a ton, but they both played pretty amazing defense.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond had his pretty tough start, but he bounced back and had two or three pretty good games to end this series.
And
He finished. Hey, his points are above his fouls. There's 37 points and 25 fouls. I mean, and this guy hasn't let anyone say anything about the Warriors on Twitter.
no, he's been going off on Twitter.
Holy.
It's so entertaining.
It's hilarious. He's just been going off on everyone, and it's the funniest. I mean, he warned us. He warned everyone. Yeah, don't let us win a championship.
This man's a menace, bro. Playing football out there on the court. He's so funny.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I said I was gonna keep track of that stat the whole playoffs.
Oh yeah, you were.
Or the whole finals, and bro finally got his above.
One thing.
On the finals for points.
One last thing I'll say for Golden State. I mean, we talked about Boston's coach. I think it's time we talk about Golden State's coach, Steve Kerr.
Stephen Kerr.
I mean, this guy.
What's his son's name again?
I'm not gonna say that. I mean, Steve Kerr. How many championships does he have now? He has
9.
9 championships.
5
with
as a
3
player.
dynasties.
5 as a player, 4 as a coach, and he now has won a championship in 4 different decades, and he's the second person ever to do that behind Phil
And
Jackson.
also, I saw a stat for him. In series where Steve Kerr's coaching, the Warriors, their series record is 22-2, that's the best playoff record ever for a coach.
Wow.
22-2. They've only lost two playoff series under Steve Kerr.
Yeah,
And that was in the finals 2019 and 2016.
yeah, 3-1.
Okay.
But
Four
yeah,
rings.
he's been a great coach he's been a great coach.
He's been an amazing coach.
He's been so successful.
Yeah.
As a player, as a
and
coach.
the thing is, I think the biggest thing with Steve Kerr is he trusts the players. Like,
He lets them do
He
what
lets-
they need to do.
he lets Draymond, Steph, Clay, Iggy, he lets them run the game.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'll say about Iggy, he didn't get a ton of minutes, but one thing I saw that was I really liked seeing from Iguodala is
His leadership and
they
mentorship.
subbed him into the game for what could be his last time ever getting into a basketball game
Mm-hmm.
at the end of game 6, and instead of just going in there and saying, "Wow, this is my last game," taking on attention. First thing he did, went over to Wiggins, gave him a huge hug, passing the torch.
Yeah, I mean,
He
did you know he's the oldest player in the NBA?
he's the oldest player.
Yeah,
I would have guessed Udonis Haslem.
that's what I thought too. But no, he's the oldest player in the NBA.
Speaking of Udonis Haslem, I saw something that's saying Draymond's what he thinks he is.
That's funny. Humor.
Well, I got one last point on here.
I was looking at that.
I've heard a lot of people saying that this discredits Kevin Durant, which I don't agree with that.
Discredits Kevin Durant?
Yeah,
How does it discredit Kevin Durant?
saying it takes away some of the value of his rings. Saying
This team is not LeBron.
because they're saying
This
they
team
want
doesn't have LeBron.
Steph won before Durant, with Durant, after Durant, and they're saying he doesn't need Durant to win. They replaced Durant with Andrew Wiggins, and they still won. They had Harrison Barnes, and it's like Kevin Durant is now that guy in between Wiggins and Harrison Barnes. It's like, no, he's a 2-time Finals MVP. Without Kevin Durant, they don't make it to the finals those years. Steph Curry is one of my favorite players of all time. Kevin Durant was the best player in those teams.
I'm Kevin Durant.
Exactly.
I mean, okay, they swept the Cavs in 2018 with LeBron.
Yeah.
You don't do that if you don't have Kevin Durant.
No.
So yeah, that's,
You
I
don't-
didn't know
you-
people were discrediting him. I thought
people
that
are
meant
going off
more like Curry can win without Kevin Durant. That's what I thought it was.
People are going off on Kevin Durant right now.
huh?
I mean,
Cray cray.
Kevin Durant's been classy with it.
Holy cannoli! That's all I'm gonna say
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
that's my favorite Klay Thompson quote now. Holy cannoli.
Oh, that's great.
Dubs are at their championship parade right now, having a good time. Clay lost his hat, but he's wearing the captain's hat now.
It suits him a little better.
Yeah, I
The
think
captain's
so.
hat.
Steph's wearing his rings on a chain,
What a guy.
carrying all his trophies around.
Yeah, I mean, I think
What a year from the Warriors.
it was a great year. It was
What a
it was
run.
just a great year of NBA this year.
Yeah, this is a great.
It was a fun season.
It was a fun season. A lot of surprises.
Everything except for the dunk contest, it was a fun season. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I think it's something that people will say wasn't fun is being a Lakers fan. Good thing I'm not.
The Los Angeles Leakers.
Los Angeles Fakers.
Old geezers.
There was a lot of injuries this year, but man, it was a fun season to watch. And these playoffs were great, and
A lot of surprise teams, and I'm like, I hope some of these teams, Bulls, don't get blown up next year.
Yeah, I've heard Levine might be coming back.
Hopefully, I really hope he does, and I hope they can get some more pieces around him.
Yeah, I've heard they're looking at John Collins.
Lonzo Ball can stay healthy.
Yeah, I've heard he might not ever be back to what he was.
I just need him to be healthy. I just need him to be healthy, man.
He could be a scrub, but I just need him to be healthy.
The Bulls missed him after he got injured, but that's not about the Bulls. This is about the Warriors. Great
champs. 100% deserved. This was an incredible run, and that's not just me saying that from a Golden State fan standpoint.
It was an impressive championship.
It was a very impressive championship. They faced a lot of diversity, and they fought through all of it, and they pulled it off, and they're 4-time champs in the last 8 years.
Yeah.
6 rings in their history.
Yeah.
This is a dynasty.
That's a dynasty right there.
I think this is up there. You could argue this being up there. Maybe not with the Bulls, but with the Spurs. I think those 2 dynasties are pretty incredible dynasties. And I mean, to be in the finals 6 times in 8 years and win 4 of them, that's pretty incredible.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the only thing I can think about that's close to that in recent time is LeBron pretty much his own dynasty, making it 8 times in a row.
The other Cavaliers.
But yeah, man. I think
that's gonna wrap it up for the Ring Chasers podcast.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's been fun. It's been a journey.
Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be back. But
thank you to our 9 subscribers for listening to us.
Thanks to all 9 of you.
I appreciate you.
Especially the people that view, the 2 or 3 of you guys that view each video.
Yeah. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for today and for this NBA season. Thanks everybody for listening. Peace out.